Thank you all for coming. She slays me. She's in the middle of slaying me right now. Very, very funny. She's a comedian. She performs around town. She's a commentator on E and Oxygen. That's E and O2. Just FYI. Ladies and gentlemen, I heart Robin Reiser, and she's coming up right now. Robin Reiser! Tracy, you have the prettiest red hair. It's so curly and pretty. You can't tell because of the red velvet, but her hair is really pretty. She just fades into it like a chameleon. But this is good. This is good to be here. The last time I was at MBAR was several years ago, and it sucked. So this is like really nice, right? So I was thinking about how to get into my story today, and I've had guests for the last 5 days staying at my house. I had this one guy that I knew, and he called me and my house. He didn't even call us. He Facebooked us, like, can I come stay with you for like 3 weeks? And then we were like, maybe some of that time. And then he was like, great, and can my nephew come too? And we were like, okay. And then he was like, oh, and my best friend Scott. And we were like, dude, we live in like a little 2-bedroom house. Like, we don't have room for you and your family, you know? And then so I was like, well, how big are all of you? And Greg, my husband, was like, no, don't ask that kind of question. Because I'm little, so I take up less room. So I'm like, if something goes down, like, I don't want a bunch of big men lugging, like, they just take up a lot of space. And I was right. Like, they took up so much space and time, and then they, like, I just have a problem. Like, I think that men, and I don't mean to be like this, but the rest of my thing is going to kind of go in this direction, so sorry. But I think that kind of men get a little spoiled brattiness, and they come over to a house, and it's like I'm the only girl, and then I end up cleaning up after them. And that pisses me off. And so today, after scooping their fucking hair out of the drain and, like, doing their dishes, I started looking online for, like, plaques that say things like, oh, are you mistaking me for the maid that I don't have? And, like, the dish fairy doesn't live in this motherfucking house, you know? Sorry. I don't know. As much as I like your personality, I don't want to touch your pubes. You clean them up yourself, dick, you know, stuff like that. They don't make those, so then I started seeing, like, can you get your own custom-made, like, antique-looking tin signs that you can hang over your vintage bathroom, you know, to make it look authentic, but it's like, motherfucker. Like, that's, like, it's good. But they don't have that. So, anyway, I wasted, like, all this time doing that today. But the reason I'm telling this is because, there's a story. It's a little bit about, like, how sort of angry I can be, and how, like, I couldn't tell these guys, like, just, can you clean up after yourself? Like, I can't do that because I just kind of, like, hold it in, and then one day I'm like, listen, motherfucker! So this is kind of a story like that. It happened when I was 19. I was 19 years old. It was a while ago, and I was in New York. I was in the city, and it was a beautiful, hot summer day, and I was crossing a big street in Manhattan, and I was wearing short shorts, like Gap short shorts. And I was 19, okay? Yeah, Gap short shorts, and like a little tank top. And I was like young and alive. I was on the rag, you know. I was potent, you know. I felt potent. And I was crossing the street, like la la la, and a car hit me and knocked me down. Okay, and so I'm like, oh God, and I like get up, like wiping myself up, and I look in the car because I'm only gonna look in the car to be like, oh, it's okay, I'm okay, everything's okay, I'm not broken, I'm okay. But I look in this car, and what you would expect is that the car of people would be like, oh my God, are you okay, or like at least concerned, you know. But instead, what I found was a group of young guys, like in high school, with baseball caps on, laughing their asses off at me, okay? And I fucking know those guys, you know? Because they are the same kind of asshole, all entitled jock guys that I was friends with in high school. And when I say friends with in high school, I kind of mean like I loved them and they abused me. It's really, and then I kept coming back for more and they'd like abuse me more. Like just, I don't want to get too into details about like how bad it was, but like I love them so much. Like, do you guys watch Friday Night Lights? Yeah, so I kind of envisioned that they were all Tim Riggins, but they were all more like Lawrence Taylor. Just to give you like sort of a very, you know what I mean? Like they were total fucking assholes. But I was like, I love you. You're all like wonderful heroes. And so just like it's a word of advice for young women, like if a bunch of guys get you drunk in the woods and in the morning you don't remember anything but your body is very sore, and the next day you go to school and none of them talk to you but they all look at you funny out of the corner of your eye, don't be friends with them anymore. Like little advice. Just a little thing. But I didn't like get upset, because I was so nice when I was like so nice, and so I just smoked a lot of pot to like deal with the pain. Just like push it down deeper, And so finally, it came out. And so there I was, like, lying, like, getting up, dusting myself off with this group of fucking assholes. Like, here they are, they're like in the parentally sponsored Jetta, you know what I mean? With their windows rolled down, their baseball hats on, all cocked eye, you know what I mean? Like, fuck you, like the jerseys, like, I hate you, And then they're like laughing, and I'm like, God, that hurt, and they're like, God, that hurt, fucking high five, dick, yeah, swinging around, fucking, like all misogyny and like phallus-centric, yeah. I learned that. Look it up. It's a word. Phallocentric. So I was like, oh, I'm so mad. I'm so mad. These guys are making me so mad. And I'm standing there in my little short shorts with my period. And I realized that the end of the string to the in-use tampon is right there. And I look at them and I feel the string to my tampon. And I'm like, oh, no, I can't do it. And then I'm looking at them laughing at me. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it, bitches. And I take that thing and I throw it in the car and I run the fuck out of there. Thank you. And in my fantasy, that tampon, like, ricocheted around the car like crazy, like spewing, like the fortifying uteral blood that like birthed them like all over their faces, and they're like smeared with taboo like lady love juice. They're just like, why? I hate women, but there's blood. Like and the only way that they could deal with it at all, like the only way that they could come to terms with what happened to them was that they had to beat the living shit out of each other. They're like, I hate you, man. They like beat the shit out of each other, and then they like all went home and cried, and that they will never ever forget me. They'll remember me to the day that they die in like a lonely puddle of their own vomit and urine. That's what I hope happened. So I think that I've come a long way. When you think that like all I was doing was like looking up tin signs that said like clean up your own shit, motherfucker, Like nobody who stayed at my house this week got any tampons thrown at them or anything else, I was very discreet. So yeah, that's my story. That's the end of it. All right, thank you, motherfucker.